impressed that you're doing this, and your artwork is beautiful. So I congratulate your teachers on making this and these lessons, because it's been going on for some weeks now, these lessons available. I first got involved in the Palestinian cause in 1977, which is a long time ago. In 1977 I went to Lebanon, which is very close to Palestine, and I lived in the Palestinian refugee camps of Sabra and Shatila, which in 1982 became infamous around the world for a very large massacre of Palestinian refugees. So in the camp that I lived in, people that I knew were massacred, and that's 42 years ago. Why am I making that point? Because some liars try to tell you that this all began on October the 7th last year, and that if the Palestinians had not fought back, it would be happening. So the point I'm making is the Palestinians have been suffering not just since the massacre in 1982, but all the way back to 1948, which is before even I was born. In 1948, 800,000 Palestinians were driven out of the country altogether. Their homes were taken by people who came from Europe and later from America. Their land was taken, their trees, their olive trees, their orange trees, all the things that had sustained them for thousands of years were taken from them, and 800,000 of them were driven out of the country altogether into refugee camps in the countries around, in Jordan, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Egypt, but also inside the country. Imagine, you become a refugee in your own country, and that has been going on for 76 years. And that 800,000 has now become, mashallah, more than 12 million Palestinians. 800,000, their children, their children, their children, their children, is now more than 12 million. 6 million of those live in Palestine, many of them as refugees. Almost everyone in Gaza is a refugee. You know what a refugee is, right? A refugee is someone who's driven from their land and has to live on charity in a tent, in a shack, with no facilities, and whose homes they can actually see. So there's a camp called Jenin, for example, in the West Bank. If you climb on the roof inside the refugee camp, they can see their own houses with somebody else living in them. They can see their own trees being picked by someone else from America, usually, now in the past from Europe. This must be the worst pain imaginable. You're living in a rat-infested hovel behind wire, while you can actually see someone enjoying your garden, your house, etc. See on the other beaches, mountains, forests, beautiful old cities like Nablus, like Ramallah, and like Gaza City itself, Khan Yunis on the beach. So we now have a situation where 6 million Palestinians live inside Palestine and 7 million nearly live outside as refugees or even here. I've met 2 Palestinians so far who cannot go back to their country, and if they went back they would be killed, and in any case their house, their land has been taken. So if you want to put it in a domestic context, imagine if somebody stormed into your house and took it from you and told you that you could live outside in the garden, but only if they put a fence around it, and if you ever looked like you wanted your house back, they would fire bullets and guns and drop bombs on you. That's what's happened to the Palestinians. And so it's the responsibility of all humans to care about that story I've just told you, to be sympathetic to the victims of it, and to support them in their rights to get their house back, get their land back. But it is a particular responsibility for the Ummah. You know, these people are apart.